Good morning and welcome to Coffee and the Word. So, we've been doing resolution week, and today I was going to jump into some practical ways to ensure that you succeed at your resolution. So, I'm going to give you those real quick, and then I want to go into a different topic. We're still going to do resolution, but anyway. So, I think there are a couple of things you need to do in order to be successful at your resolution. Number one is you need to declare your resolution. You need to tell people what you're resolving to do. Don't be afraid. When you start telling people, there is an added level of um, commitment to it. You're kind of forced to take it on. You're kind of forced to recognize it and realize it. And so make sure that you take some time to tell people, here's what I'm going to do this year. And tell them I may need some grace, but I also need some accountability. So that's the first thing. The second thing is ask people to check in on you. Give weekly reports. Like get an accountability team. Maybe find some people who are willing to do it with you. That's really important. So tell people about it. Get an accountability team. Maybe even get somebody to partner with you to do it. And keep each other accountable on the process. And then finally, I think maybe the most important one for you to be successful in your resolution is to put your resolution somewhere where they stare you in the face. You know what I mean? Like maybe put it on the mirror in your bathroom or somewhere you go every day. Put those resolutions up so that you can see them every day, and it's a constant reminder of what you need to do. But I want to give a caveat to that. If you fail one day, don't end the day as a failure, right? Come back the next day and recommit to it. So those are the three things I think that you can do besides whatever your resolution is. Make sure you understand the purpose behind it, plan how you're going to do it, and then seek the power to accomplish it. Today I want to talk to you about something. Yesterday was in my workout program was rest day, and so my wife and I both took a rest day. And I'll be honest with you, our culture does not like rest. You know, we call it things like lazy, and I remember as a kid always hearing that idle hands are the devil's workshop. And I bet some of you feel like I do. I bet sometimes you take some time for yourself and you rest or you sleep in and you feel guilty the rest of the day. You can't even enjoy rest because you feel guilty because you believe you should be doing something. And when we find ourselves resting and recovering and trying to recharge our battery, as it were, we don't really recharge because we spend the whole time self-condemning and feeling guilty. And so I want to encourage you to take some time to rest. God, who created the heavens and the earth, doesn't need rest. Yet on the seventh day, we find him resting. And I don't, Jesus later says the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. In other words, it almost seems like God's saying, hey guys, you need this. You need to take some time and rest. A lot of my pastor friends will ask me, hey, do you take a Sabbath? And I'm like, if you mean, do I take a day and do nothing? No, I don't do that. I have a hard time doing that. And let me clarify, sometimes rest is not just idleness. Sometimes rest is just resting from the labor and toil that you've been engaged in. Rest can be fishing. Rest can be doing gardening. Whatever it is that allows you to release your mind. And so there's a couple of things I want to tell you. I believe rest is being honest. Resting is emotional honesty in a sense. Resting is saying what Jesus says, come unto me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Like you have to admit you're weary and heavy laden. You have to admit you're weary and overburdened in order for you to take that time to rest. And so take that time and rest. And acknowledge your emotional fatigue. Acknowledge your fatigue. Um, I think rest is radical and countercultural. As I already said, we kind of have a tendency, especially in the West, to really glorify hard work. You know, that guy works 7 days a week, 24/7. That guy's always at it. And that's an admirable quality. But if we really paid attention to the end of that story, that guy, that same guy who worked hard for everything that he had, ends up bitter and mean, and because he doesn't find the very rest that God says you need. God dictated that his people take a day of rest, take a Sabbath day of rest, and he didn't do that because he wanted to see if they could comply with the nothingness that he was requiring of them. He did that because he recognized the need. Most of the things God asks of us and encourages us is for our good and for his glory. And so I just want to encourage you with that. But I will tell you this, it's interesting that God set this idea that you need rest to be successful in your life. And if you get a trainer, do anything for physical health, and they'll tell you need a couple of things. Okay? Usually they'll tell you the first thing you need consistency. You need to get after it. You need to do what you're supposed to do. You need to pick a time and do it all the time, right? And that's the first thing to having a successful program. The second thing to having a apparently success is a hard word for me. A successful program is you really need to get proper nutrition. In spiritual life, that's studying the Word of God, right? That's the proper nutrition. We need to eat this book. And then the third thing they'll tell you is you need proper rest. You need to rest. You need to get enough sleep. And the same is true in your spiritual lives. And there is no difference really. I think sometimes we try to separate the spiritual from the physical, but the only separation is that they're at odds with one another. But if we can ever get our spirit and our flesh to operate on the same level, we'll be extremely successful. And one of the ways we accomplish that is by learning to rest. So I want to encourage you today. I want to give you permission. Take some time and rest. Take some time and rest. You need it. I need it. Have you ever heard something called burnout factor? I get warned of this all the time. And just to be clear, if you're sitting over there saying, boy, Dale's really hitting me hard, Dale is hitting Dale hard. I don't do this well. And so pray for me, and I'll pray for you. For today and this weekend, it's been another edition of Coffee and the Word. Oh, by the way, let me real quick invite you once again to be a part of our Sunday services. At 9:30, we have Bible study, and this Bible study is on Zoom and in person. We welcome you to join us either way. And then our worship service is in person and also on YouTube and Facebook. So hit us up, join us. It's on this same channel, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, it's on this page or this channel. Like, share, and subscribe so that you can get the updates about when we have new postings. For the rest, God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend.